Welcome to stage one of the Rallye du Maroc. Here's what happened today in the bikes. There was travel chaos on the Rallye du Maroc yesterday as heavy rainfall and flooding affected the transfer from Marrakesh to Zagora. With many teams not arriving until after midnight, the organisers decided to delay the start of today's action until just after 10 a.m. and shorten the stage. The competitors will now cover 180 kilometres on the route that was planned for stage 2 before taking the original stage 1 tracks on Tuesday. On paper then, this wasn't a very long outing, but Pablo Quintanilla said it certainly felt like one. The 2021 winner struggled to find his rhythm today, especially in the technical early part of the stage, and pointed out that the recent rain had made it hard to find the piste. He nevertheless ended up in 5th place and sits 5th overall. Luciano Benavides had a similar analysis of this first stage. He was out of sorts in the early riverbeds and lost around 3 minutes trying to find the right line. The Argentine is still working his way back to full fitness after he broke his hip at Ruta 40. But things did improve as the day wore on. He overtook a couple of riders in the dunes and finished in 4th place. Fresh from yet another prologue victory yesterday, Tosha Shirena took it fairly easy in the first 30k or so, saying you could easily crash or damage your bike over this sketchy terrain. In the end, it was a nice smooth outing for the Spaniard, who was 1 minute and 48 seconds off the pace in 3rd. Tosha is hunting his second W2RC win of this season after victory in Portugal. Daniel Sanders had a very solid outing on his new KTM, dropping just 48 seconds on his way to 2nd place. The Aussie was leading for a while, but he lost the right line going around some dunes and had to push hard to catch up again. Chucky says that he's feeling much better than he did in Argentina, and if he keeps this up, he could well be a part of the overall fight. But it was a disastrous day for the reigning Dakar champion at Ricky Brabec. The American started strong and he was cruising along nicely with his teammate Quintanilla, but when he jumped one dune, his bike hit another smaller dune hidden behind it and he took the full impact of the landing on his right leg. He nevertheless gritted his teeth to make it through the stage, but over 19 minutes down.
Yeah, it fucking hurt. So, the whole stage after that, we had to take it easy and yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer, but we're here at the bivouac, we're 19 minutes down. We're all asked to open tomorrow, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I definitely need to get this thing checked out. Right now I have to weigh my options, be 100% healthy at the Dakar or risk hurting my knee in a couple more days.
That crash sadly spelled the end of Ricky's rally. He abandoned this afternoon. Well, that's good news for the current World Championship leader Ross Branch, who was also today's stage winner. The Kalahari Ferrari said it was anything but straightforward out there today and he struggled with a few technical issues. But he still came home fastest and now leads the rally by 48 seconds. Branch with a word for his rival Brabec at the finish line.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. When I passed him, I knew there was something wrong because Ricky never goes backwards like that. So I really hope everything's okay with him. So we still got a really long way to go and a big fight. And the guys are on the gas. Nobody's going slow. So it's going to keep us on our toes. And if the results are as they are now, then opening tomorrow is going to be another tough challenge.
Nacho Cornejo lost over 14 minutes opening, but still led from start to finish and took 58 seconds of bonus time. Adrian van Beveren also shipped over 10 minutes. 1 minute and 30 seconds separate Branch, Sanders and Shirena at the top, with Benavides next best at 6 minutes and 45. On to Rally 2, and it was a solid day for Michael Doherty. The South Africans had a tough season, crashing out of the Dakar and the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, so he's just looking to get through unscathed here and build for Dakar 2025. Despite not wanting to push too much, he was second quickest in class. In first place was his teammate and compatriot Bradley Cox, who's targeting both the Rally 2 victory in Morocco and the World Championship title. He currently sits 8 points behind the leader Romain Dumontier, but he's off to a promising start, beating his French rival today by over 5 minutes.
Good start, like the rally's still a long way to go, but yeah, really physically tough today, and for sure it's just going to get tougher. So yeah, the heat also starting at 10 o'clock today was also a bit of a different challenge, but yeah, we keep this momentum and see what happens at the end.
There were no fewer than 4 BAS World KTM Racing Team riders in the top 5, with Edgar Canet and Tobias Ebster also in the mix. Overall, Cox leads Doherty by a shade over 4 minutes, with Canet, Dumontier and Ebster making up the top 5. Souleymane Adari made it 2 wins in 2 days in the Rally 3 Africa Enduro Cup. The Moroccan really pushing in the second part of the stage to win by almost half an hour. Manuel Andújar has already secured the world title in the quads, but the battle's on to finish second behind the Argentine, who's competing in the SSVs this week. Kamil Wisniewski is leading that fight, and he won today's stage by almost half an hour. This is stage 1 of the Rallye du Maroc. Now it's time to check out the action in the ultimate class.
Flashing lights cover your right.
After yesterday's prologue, as is tradition, the top 10 drivers in the ultimate class got to choose their starting positions inside that top 10. Well, most of them wanted to be as far back as possible, but not the intrepid Guoyu Zhang, who opted to set off in first place.
So we have a brave vote coming in here.
First.
Yeah, somebody with some courage.
A 2-time finisher in the top 15 at the Dakar, the man from China has ambitions of fighting with the best. We have a good car that should enable us to compete with the top drivers. We're here to progress, to learn and to gain experience, and I'm confident that one day we'll be able to beat the big boys. A baptism of fire then for Zhang, or perhaps a baptism of rocks in this tough early part of the special. He was soon caught and passed by Seth Quintero and ultimately dropped half an hour, but as he says, this is all part of the learning curve. Keep an eye out for him at the Dakar. Setting off over 2.5 hours after Zhang was Sebastian Loeb after his issues on the prologue.
We will have a lot of dust, a lot of slow cars in the front. So for sure we will have to overtake a lot. In the dust, it's never easy. We will do our best, and we'll see tonight.
Well, Loeb was the 120th FIA vehicle off the start line, and he did what he could to limit the damage because there was an awful lot of traffic in front of him. In the end, the Frenchman dropped almost 13 minutes. A broken steering arm didn't help, but he was still among the top 10 cars. In 5th place was Matthias Ekstrom, a last-minute entry for the Ford M Sport team. The Swede set off in 91st, and he overtook around 40 vehicles, losing just over 6 minutes. Ekstrom says he is loving being back in a V8 car and the sound of that engine. After winning yesterday's prologue, Gerlan Shishiri chose to set off 9th today. The Frenchman lost his GPS at kilometre 30, and that meant getting through the rest of the stage without a cap or a speed limit. Finishing 4th was a pretty solid effort. He's happy with the car, happy with the speed, and he's looking forward to pushing tomorrow. It was another good day for Carlos Sainz as he swept his way to third. El Matador said it was tough, especially getting through the stones at the start. He also had issues with the air conditioning system in his Ford Raptor on a very hot day in Morocco, but despite a rather sweaty finish, he showed he's right up there. Yazid Al-Rallye found it hard going early on with the dust and the stones, but he managed to avoid any punctures and praised the reliability of his Toyota. Once the stage opened up, they increased the tempo, but it wasn't maximum attack. Second place today for the Saudi. The stage win went to the World Championship leader, Nasser al-Attiyah. The Qatari was 28th off the start line and went storming through the field to win ahead of Al-Rallye and Sainz. The usual suspects very much up at the top of the leaderboard. Al-Attiyah was also delighted to land a first triumph for his new team.
Yes, I am happy, for the team, because it's a first win, for Dacia Sun Rider, and it's not easy, but it's a proper stage, I'm happy, to test my car, in this condition.
Sainz and Ekstrom don't appear in the official standings because they are in a separate experimental class, so Guillaume de Mevius and Mathieu Serradori join the others in the top 5. It's also 5 W2RC points for Nasser, whose early lead is 1 minute and 39 seconds. This is the final outing in the challenges for Mitch Guthrie before he joins the Ford lineup at the Dakar, and the American's determined to go out with a bang. He hasn't been in action since the Dakar, so he took it pretty easy early on, but still ended up in third on the day. But for the second day running, it was the Goksal show in T3s, with last year's winner Maroc Goksal coming second. He says that he loves Morocco, a country he's visited around 30 times, and he's off to an excellent start as he looks to defend his title. The biggest competition could well come from within his own family. Michael won the stage today, beating his brother by all of 8 seconds. The pole was full of praise for his co-driver Diego Ortega after what he described as a masterclass, and they landed the victory despite some trouble late on.
We lose time the last 40 kilometers because we broke drive shafts. So we go only with 3 wheels. But finally we won, so we are really happy.
Nicolas Cavigliasso and Dania Akil rounded out the top 5 on the day, followed by Marek's son Eric Goksal and the World Championship leader Rokas Bachuska. In the SSVs, Yasser Sayadan drew first blood in the fight between the World Championship contenders. The Saudi enjoyed the variety of the stage today and came second, over 10 minutes clear of Sebastian Guayasamín. He says that if he keeps driving like this, he's going to end up winning the title. Sayadan wasn't fastest on the day though. That honour belonged to Alexandre Pinto, who isn't competing in the W2RC. The Portuguese driver, building on his prologue victory yesterday, he now leads the rally by just over 3 minutes. Juan Miguel Fidel lies third for the Herodor factory team, followed by the championship leader Guayasamín and Italy's Rebecca Busi.